here is, you can see the real nature.
It feels like a dream. I feel like I'm floating. The light is different. I think the light is very different here. I just walk here and I'm like, wow, this is just amazing.
It's a destination. It's a honeymoon destination. It's a relaxed location. It's a dream location. And I think a lot of people, they see this as a place where they can recharge their energy. You come to these beautiful villas, you relax, you get up in the morning, you swim. It's a retreat.
In the Maldives, you've got some of the top hotels and top resorts in the world. And you have to be different in certain ways. One of our ways of doing so is the artwork side of things. Our whole brand is based around a lady who's worked hard all her life, has amassed enough money to be able to enjoy the finer things in life, and one of those is the art.
Art is something very important. It brings character to the place.
NoLab and our team have sat down to discuss what would be suitable here and what would create an extension to the story of Joali.
Esin Hanım came to our shows. She said, okay guys, this is amazing, but I have a project in Maldives.
They wanted to integrate art into their hotel in a different way. So they wanted us to propose them a project, and we came up with this immersive arts concept, and that's how we started working here.
Other than islands, the story begins with joy, and we have luxury in all units. Plus we use the art.
What we were trying to do is kind of break that luxurious feeling and also reconnecting to the island's nature. So the pieces that we brought in or got done here, they're either very integrated into the nature or materials that the artists choose to use are very natural and doesn't disturb the nature.
So we work with very interesting artists, and now they are working on site. We are all working together with them.
We picked artists who create pieces which are very experiential. If it's a piece that you just see and you can't interact and get a function out of it, you just see it. But if you know that you can get a function out of it and you can interact, it creates more curiosity and you want to immerse in it.
Zemer, Duygu, how are you?
Yeah, very good.
Me and my partner Zeynep, we always have artists that we love their work. So this was a perfect reason for us to invite them to be a part of this project. And since it's a very interesting project, they wanted to do it and we were so happy.
We're putting in the Underwater Coral Museum, but Mitch is doing a great job producing something that can really create a new story. And it's a negative story. It's a story which tells people how we are ruining the planet. And by doing this, our guests will get to understand a little bit more about what their effect on the planet is and what our effect overall is. And hopefully into their minds will be a little thing where in the future when they leave, they will do that bit more to try and save us all.
Misha is a very young artist. He bloomed really fastly in New York and all over the world. And he has a crazy mind, and we love it because I think he was born for this.
I guess at the time I was using all these formal qualities of trash that was in the ocean. And this seemed like a nice natural extension. I guess I was just sort of drawing things that seemed like they would look good. And I remember like leaving the project and just sketching these on the plane after I was here the first time. And so I feel like they were pretty open to kind of letting me go wild with it. We wanted to sort of emphasize the fact that, especially the ocean in the Maldives, but the ocean everywhere, that there's so much coral that's dying, which is because we've put so much carbon in the air. And then the carbon goes in the water, and then it throws off the acid level, and the coral collapses, basically. half of the sculptures signify that and are really colorful, but maybe with splotches that have gone beige. Then the other half sort of just this one like massive dome, more skeletal creatures that are white.
We worked with Porky Heifer, which is a great artist from Cape Town. He's very inspired by animals and he builds these habitable nests.
Let's go a little bit more on this scene. I make animals or natural things which have an energy which are positive and wow, as opposed to, I fear most animals now are ugh or ow. It's not about that, it's like wow, that's amazing. You got to go for blowing people's minds in a positive way, not scaring people. The brief for Joali was do something interesting on the island, working with what was existing. So I mean that seeing the arrivals hall, it was just natural that it was built in that way, in this wave structure of a manta ray, and it just works out that the manta ray is the national animal of the Maldives. Come a little bit here, pull this down here and stretch it out here.
When he came here, he really looked at the site. He used materials from the site. He really talked to the locals. So there was like 20 locals helping him build this manta ray treehouse where they were in an interaction with each other.
Okay. How long will you take for that one to finish?
Tomorrow.
I think we need not so for the thatching. Maybe to just get the shape so we can do, so we're putting that thatch on. Somebody just told me the experience of when he was diving and suddenly it got dark and he looked up and it was the breeding ground for the manta rays. I want to have that feeling when you're underneath it. I want you to embrace it and be excited by it. So you go, I want to see a real one. You've got to preserve nature, but you've also got to preserve culture in people and tradition. So I work with different people that work with different techniques, with different materials. So the more varied I can work with, the more I learn. Inspired by animals and people because of their techniques and what they can do, but my inspiration is always to try and get people closer to animals and closer to nature.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well. There's a lovely place. This is going to be our art wall.
Yeah.
Once we came here, first time with the artists, they have collected different plants all around the island. So they brought an idea to us how we can use these plants to reflect the Maldivian feeling.
We went to Joali at a moment when we could really capture what was natural on the island. So we spent some days foraging, and we foraged weeds and clippings to build an archive of the indigenous plants on the island, and we brought them back. And we do a process, a photographic process that captures a direct impression of those botanics upon ceramics using photographic chemicals. Photography is a process of capturing a moment, and I think that's very appropriate in the work that we've done for Joali, because we are in a way preserving a moment in time. The island is changing by the nature of it becoming something that will be populated, but it's in a sense living. It's always changing. The beaches are always moving and the natural landscape is changing, and our work within that sits as a moment of taking a snapshot and saying this was a moment. I think it's something that will feel very at home in its location, and I think the botanics that we've used will be recognizable for the visitors.
We came up with the idea of art immersive hotel, which was more based on experience. 90% of the pieces are specially done for Joali. If they're not, like Nacho Carbonell's, he had the challenge to adapt it to nature because there's salt, humidity, rain here. So it was the first time that piece was being shown in nature.
Whoa, amazing.
This is nice.
Very, very nice. Perfect location, yeah.
Somehow much better, you know, because in an art gallery also kind of like this context kind of like create always a distance between the viewer and the object. And in this case, it's a really beautiful gift, this idea of like having something that you can really use and how the people can really interact. And in here, actually, this border is really like not there. And if you are daring enough, you will be able to jump and use it. So it's kind of like an idea of like really like representing this idea of like all we need somehow to go into our own self.
One, two, three. Okay, stop. I usually make much smaller pieces, but that's my real passion, to make this big work. So the majority of the piece is red just to make this reference for the corals, the reality of what's happening here. I mean, that we're losing all the coral reefs. So I was trying to create this in this sculpture, but still to get like the very sense of delicate and beauty that we have, and just to talk about the memory and what we're losing, and just to kind of capture it all in this beautiful moment.
I think it's incredible. I think Misha really pushes the boundaries of what is possible and what is palatable. Because I mean, really, a lot of people are quite shocked by his work, but his work is honestly beautiful. And the beauty is in the hand, and you can see the hand in everything that he does. You can see the lines, you can see the mistakes, you can see everything, and that's what gives us characters. I mean, look at my face.
I think kind of across the board there was like interesting compromises that I've tried to figure out, you know, how to just make the best thing we can. And I've never made anything this big, so some of it's just been my own learning curve. There's just lots of things that could go wrong, but something will end up at the bottom of the ocean.
For me, making something in my own country and sending it here defeats my entire object. I mean, we've tried to arrive as a human being, not as a commodity or anything with stuff and materials and things. Of course, if there's something I need, but hopefully I'm in the hands of that place where nothing I bring can actually help. Everything's found there. Vernacular architecture is architecture of a place. When you're in the Maldives, you should see buildings and structures that say, I'm in the Maldives. There's so many positives about it in that A, it fits in. B, it's using local craftsmen. C, the materials are going to last for longer. And it also gives that specific place an originality. I'm trying to keep handcraft alive because the hand is a job. And the hand is a happy family. The hand is a fed family. And that's my intention, is to take people and show them that what they think is a normal, mundane job can actually be a fantastic, incredible solution and a future.
Oh my God, it looks amazing.
Whoa.
The wings are perfect.
And I want to really go up this ramp.
And it really blends in with the nature. Nice.
This does feel like the tail.
I feel like I'm going to a roller coaster ride, you know? It looks amazing. Look at the view.
I know, and when the trees